Hello everyone. Today we are going to remove the lower fairing on my 2021 Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX. This is the big piece of plastic. You will first need to remove the middle fairing and the side cover, which I have videos for. For this removal and installation, you will need a small screwdriver to use for the push clips, possibly a larger flathead screwdriver for the pull tab clips, and a 4mm hex socket and a 6mm hex socket, as well as a socket wrench. Overall, the process is not that complicated. People tend to be a little scared of this, but I assure you it is relatively easy. Mine will be a little more complicated than yours because I have LED lights hooked up, unless of course you have lights hooked up as well, in which case be mindful of the connectors. That being said, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start on the left-hand side here. The first thing you're going to want to do is remove the quick rivets, and there's 4 of them. The first thing you have to do, let's get down here and you have to remove these quick rivets. Now the easiest way to do that is with a screwdriver. Now you're going to see I'm going to have a little bit of a problem here because one of my light strips goes here. I might actually end up replacing this with some light on the one side and light on the other, so I can disconnect in the middle, but that's beside the point. If you don't have a light strip there, you won't run into that problem. But removing these quick strips is pretty easy. Just take a flathead, pop it in, and you just pull it out. And so there's one here, and then there's one on the bottom. So you take those 2 out, and then for the real fun part, and I don't even know how I'm going to get the camera on this. Okay, the next step is we are on, so the front wheel is right here, the left strut's here. And we need to remove these pop rivets. Now there's one here, and there's actually one under my light that I ran here. So I'm going to have a little bit of rerunning of my lights to do, but that's okay because it looks like a couple of them fell off and I need to upgrade to the 3M tape. So with quick rivets, all you do is take a small screwdriver or something small and you just push in the middle. So the other one's right back there on the other side of my light. You're going to push that in, and then we have to remove it. Go ahead and remove this one, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the one back here. Now if you're removing both sides, you can go ahead and do the other side now, which I am going to do. So these are the quick rivets on the right hand side. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this one. And then back there behind my wire. Okay, on the left hand side of the bike, you're going to have these 2 bolts that you need to remove. And for that, you'll need a 6mm hex socket. There is a rubber grommet in there, which is why it will squeak on you. Now we're going to go to the right hand side. Okay, here on the right hand side, there's only one bolt you have to remove with the 6mm socket. That's this one right here. Okay, we are on the left-hand side again. And this is where we need to disconnect the turn signal light lead connector and the outside temperature sensor connector. And that's these two. So all you do is just push really hard with your thumb in here and it'll pop out. And then on the inside of your fairing, you're going to have another connection that you push the top here and just lift up. It'll come out pretty easy. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these two bolts here. These are the same as the other fairings. They're just 4 millimeters with the plastic washers. And then if you go and you follow it back, right here is another one. So I'm going to move with the camera and we'll go ahead and take that out. Now the last step on the left side here is we have to get this off. And that can be tricky because these connections are, you would think it would just slide off, but that's rather difficult. What I usually do is I go ahead and go from the inside and push the little butterflies in. Just be careful you don't break your plastic or anything. And that way you don't have to worry about trying to remove it from the clip, and it pops right out. And we're going to repeat on the other side. Okay, so we're going to disconnect this, take these two bolts out, and the one that you can't see in frame right now in the back. The same thing as the other side. Push really hard with your thumb. If you have trouble with these connectors because they're so tough, you can actually just go and get a little flathead and lift up on the tab and you should be able to just pull it out. Sometimes that can be a lot easier. Okay, just like on the other side, we have to remove this clip. And all I do is just push the little butterflies in on the other side with the screwdriver. Piece of cake. Okay, we are back on the left-hand side here. And we've removed all the hardware we need to remove to take these off. Now, on these, there's these hooks back here. Make sure to pull them up. Just lift up and it'll pull out. The easiest thing I found to do is you just lift out, reach in, underneath, pull out, and your fairing will come off. Of course, mine won't because of all the wires. Okay, make sure to pull back, and then I'm going to disconnect my lights here. Alright, so of course I had all the lights to take care of, but I'll have to fix them up. But it'll be a lot easier if you don't have those lights there. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to the right hand side and remove that one as well. Okay, I'm going to give you a wider angle here. Now remember, you have the hook in the back. Just lift up. It'll pull out. And then you want to slide it back. While clearing the radiator and all that stuff, okay? And it just will slide down. And then I have all my wires to disconnect. And make sure you put your fairings in a nice safe place so they don't get scratched up. I like using moving blankets. And that's all there is to it, guys. I mean, it's a lot easier than it looked because I had all those lights and stuff. But you just remove the hook, pull out away from the radiator, okay? You'll feel it in there when you reach your hand under, and you just pull the plastic out so you clear it and just slide it back and the whole thing will come down. It's probably one of the easiest fairing removals I've ever done. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll try and help as best as possible. Okay, before you reinstall the fairing, I recommend wiping everything down and waxing the fairing in the hard to reach spots where you can't normally get to when it's installed. We're going to start by reinstalling the left-hand side. And the process is reverse of the removal. We're going to slide this underneath. You can see these two bolt holes right here. Those go here. So we're going to slide this in basically the same way it came out. Make sure you aren't hitting any cables or anything back there. Also, make sure you have your turn signal lead. And then you have your push grommet, so just push things into place to hold it. When everything looks like you have it right, go ahead and start putting your bolt back in. You can just get them started for now. The bottom ones are 6mm. The reason why I say don't tighten everything down is just in case you have something misaligned or not seated right, it'll just be easier to start back over. Okay, so we put the two black bolts in underneath. Now we're going to go ahead and work on our other bolts. Forward ones may need a little elbow grease. Okay, so we got the two there. Don't forget the hook in the back. Get that clipped over the edge. And we have the one bolt up here. And just make sure everything is snug. It looks good. Then you can go ahead and we can get the two push tabs in on this side. But just so I don't have to change the camera around here, we're going to go ahead and snug these up. Remember, you're going into plastic. They don't need to be that tight. Just snug. The ones on the bottom can be snugged up tighter than the ones up top. I cannot find any torque specs on the lower ones, so just make sure they're really tight. Check to make sure they don't loosen later. Our left side fairing's installed over here. Make sure all of our grommets are seated. Everything looks good. Once done, you're going to want to rehook or put your signal lead back in. Hook up your signal. You can ignore these wires. I rerouted my lighting. Then you want to get your temperature probe and hook it back in. And you don't have to worry about mixing them up. They will match only one way. Okay, now I'm going to move the camera and we can get the tabs in. Okay, now that we've got the fairing situated, we are ready to put these push tabs back on. Unfortunately, when I reran my light, it went underneath there. Shouldn't be a problem. So with these push tabs, you want to get the middle piece sticking back out. Hold it in so it's flush. Stick it in. Push the middle in. It should hold tight. And do it for the back one as well. And that's it for them. We're going to go ahead and get the right hand side put on. Okay, reinstalling the right fender. It's much like reinstalling the left. Same thing. Get it lined up. Find your two bolt holes on the right. And slide it in. Make sure to get the hook on the back, or on the top here, in the back. Then you should be able to push, there's one push, there it goes. Push it in. Alright. Okay, so you want to take your two screws up front. Again, it might take some maneuvering. Third one goes up top in the middle. On this side, of course, there's only one black one. And of course, the black ones are 6mm. We're going to go ahead and torque it down. And then the silver ones are 4mm. Alright, don't over tighten them. And of course, you can ignore these wires as they're my lights. But you need to put your turn signal indicator on and pop that back in that hole. Alright, I'm going to move the camera to get underneath for the two push tabs. Alright, these push tabs are just like on the other side as well. Of course, you won't have a light that's to create problems for you. Get the one in the back. And we're going to move the camera again. You've got the two tabs, one on the bottom, one on the front. Just line things up. Push it in, push the tab up. Push it in, push the tab through. And that's all it is, all it takes to put on your lower fairings. I know it may have seemed like a lot, but it's actually really easy to remove these. So if you have any questions, please ask, and thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I will try and answer everyone's questions as soon as possible. If there's anything you would like to see, any tips, tricks, techniques, anything at all motorcycle related, please let me know. I do these videos for you, so anything that you would like to see, I am more than happy to do it. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell to notify you whenever a new video drops. Thank you again. Ride safe and keep the rubber side down.